something like you would have seen in a movie. I never encountered anything like this before. Not seeing people on the hood of the truck.
Mass chaos breaks out as illuminated floats roll by in mid-city.
All of a sudden, he lost control of his car, and he veered right into the crowd and ended up at the dump truck, and everybody was just laid out.
At least 24 people injured as a result of a person's drunken night that spun out of control.
We send a strong message about not drinking and driving, about making smart decisions. But then the citizens who allowed us to actually do our job so that we could save as many people as we possibly can.
Tonight, we have more on what happened and what happens next in the investigation. WDSU News at 10 starts right now. 28 people injured tonight. 21 of those are in the hospital. Police say a man rammed through a crowd of people as they watched the Endymion Parade in Mid-City. It all happened near Carrollton and Orleans Avenue. Police say the driver drove his truck into two vehicles and then crashed into the neutral ground, finally coming to a stop when he hit a dump truck. We have live team coverage tonight. We begin with WDSU's Jennifer Crockett, who has the latest in Mid-City. Jennifer.
Well, Gina, EMS was actually stationed right here, so the response was immediate. Also, bystanders, family members, complete strangers ran to help the people who were in the path of that out-of-control truck.
We transported 21 patients to 10 local hospitals, including 5 to the trauma center. Those brought to the trauma center were in guarded condition with no serious life threats at this time.
Witnesses say the crowd couldn't get out of the way of the truck in time. The youngest victim, a preschooler.
Approximately 3 or 4 years old. There's a small child. It's very stable, doing fine. It's probably in their 30s and 40s.
The man behind the wheel in police custody. Chief Michael Harris then explains what his investigators know so far.
At this time, it appears that it's a subject who was highly intoxicated, who struck a number of vehicles and then veered off, hitting a whole bunch of innocent people, who is now under investigation for DWI and, of course, hitting all the people who are injured.
How an out-of-control truck could get that close to the parade route is another question for the mayor, when he says could change traffic flow near the Mardi Gras masses.
Well, we're gonna examine that. We're looking at all of the facts of this.
An NOPD officer who was working the Endymion Parade was one of the people who was hurt. We saw her being loaded up on a brace aboard into an EMS ambulance and being taken away. Chief Harrison told me that he's spoken to her and she is in good spirits. He also promised to build a solid case here, hand it over to prosecutors who will prosecute that accused drunk driver to the fullest extent of the law. Gina.
All right, Jennifer, thanks. Meantime, Governor John Bel Edwards has also been briefed on tonight's incident. He says, quote, "Thank you to all of our first responders who assisted in New Orleans tonight. Donna and I are praying for all of the victims." The FBI also looking into what happened tonight. In a statement, they say, quote, "The FBI New Orleans division is aware of the mass casualty incident that happened along the Endymion Mardi Gras parade route this evening in New Orleans. We are currently coordinating with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners to determine whether a federal violation has occurred." WDSU reporter Travers Mackle continues our team coverage tonight on the Endymion Parade accident live in Mid-City. Travers, what can you tell us?
Well, Gina, I can tell you that this was packed. This is where everything went down. It was 12 to 15 deep. Let me step out the way. We are at Carrollton and Orleans. This is where this truck came through, jumped the curb by that median, and slammed into a jump truck. Now, check out this video from earlier today. This was when one of our crews just got on the scene. As a matter of fact, that truck, driven by this suspected drunk driver, hit that dump truck so hard, a lot of people thought it was a loud noise, possibly a bomb or a gunshot. We are told that a band was playing as they were making the turn, and band members hit the deck, if you will. People were scrambling around. Most people out here are local, and they tell us they've never seen or heard of anything like this. They say people were yelling and screaming in agony, looking for help. The best part about this, if there is any silver lining, and there really isn't, is that event. People were helping others in this community. Dozens of people rushed to the scene to see if anyone needed emergency care. That includes civilians and police officers. Like you heard the man say earlier in this show, it was like something out of a movie. We caught up with one witness. Here's what she told us right after everything went down.
The black truck that's into the dump truck was traveling towards this way, going down Carrollton, and all of a sudden you could hear him screech like a speed up. So I turned my head because I was on the ladder, and you could see that he hit a car. And all of a sudden he lost control of his car, and he veered right into the crowd and ended up at the dump truck, and everybody was just laid out.
And you know, I had a city official tell me this. As we know, 28 people were injured, 7 refused treatment, 21 are at area hospitals, some of them in critical. But this truck slammed into a dump truck. A city official told me that if that didn't happen, this could have been 5 times as worse, because that truck, driven by that suspected drunk driver, may have just kept going down Orleans into a crowd that had several hundred, if not thousands of people right there before he could have come to a stop. So hitting the dump truck stopped it from being much worse than what it was. We'll have much more coming up later in this show. For now, I'm Travers Mackel in Mid-City. Let's send it back to you, Gina.
All right, Travers, thanks. Right now on the WDSU News app, we have the full press conference with Mayor Mitch Landrieu and other law enforcement leaders, as well as the head of EMS. We also have more pictures and viewer video from the scene. That's all available for you right now online and on the WDSU app.
We've said this message over and over again. Do not bring firearms to the parades. Do not bring them in anywhere in your own neighborhood, but certainly do not bring them to parades.
Tonight's accident in Mid-City was the second incident that someone was injured in tonight. Just feet away from the Krewe of Endymion Parade uptown, a man was shot. This happened just about 2:30 this afternoon. Investigators determined that a weapon was discharged from inside a porta potty near St. Charles and Napoleon Avenue. The victim was watching the parade at the time and was shot in the side. Lalo Salas was standing near the victim when the gunshot went off.
All of a sudden we hear a loud gunshot. Turned around and saw a guy on the ground, bleeding from his side. Didn't really think much, but until, everyone started screaming the police, literally maybe 3 people behind me. So I ran over to around that area there, screamed out the police, told the police to come over, and then all of a sudden it was just a matter of get out the way.
The victim was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Police are searching for the suspect. If you know anything about the shooting, call Crime Stoppers. When we return, we head back to the scene in Mid-City to learn more about this investigation. Also still to come tonight, Rex royalty revealed. Find out more about who will reign as the king and queen of Carnival.